Is there anybody who's not attracted to Harry Styles? Like, is there anybody who like doesn't get it?
I know I've never met anyone that doesn't get it personally.
Because it's like I don't get it. Pete Davidson, like I don't get it, but I get it.
I mean, 2/3 of the people on this podcast are not attracted to men, and we all get it.
I feel like we represent America.
Dropped off all the things I love. Like I need a traffic jam to keep in touch. I can't focus on the words unless my hands are busy. I can't give up on the world or I will leave this city. And it's way too broad what I'm trying to say, but I write it down and let it go. And it's hard to know all the words I need to explain my heart in a single note.
Hello, and welcome to Way Too Broad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculous, excitable grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Hi, Erin.
Ooh, hi Hannah, hi Ben.
Hello.
I thought we were gonna burp together before we started recording, or before we started kicking off with intro.
Yeah, we did say that, but I think I'm the only one on this podcast who can burp on command. Is that right?
I can, but it's not like my full authentic burp.
I
Ben can.
cannot.
It's like a shell of a burp.
Can I hear yours?
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's fast.
Yeah.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Wow, that was so powerful.
That moved just Ben.
Wow,
Moved Ben to tears.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
For the listener, Ben's a little misty after witnessing that. After witnessing that
It
power.
was just powerful. Oh.
It's a silly Thursday happy hour edition of Way Too Broad. Episode 219.
Oh, there we go.
We're going on hiatus before 220. Very special 220.
Yes, that's right. 220 will be very special. Let's find out what we're drinking, and then let's talk about the hiatus, because it has solidified in my mind, and I'd like to fill the listeners in. So
Great.
I will tell you what I'm drinking. I have a lemon limeade Spindrift that's almost done.
Nice.
And I think I've had these before. Same people as the hop water, the local Moonhill Brewing. It's a Candy Mountain Charlie fruit infused sour beer. This one is tart cherry.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Candy Mountain Charlie.
Yeah. It's got Charlie on it.
That's
Charlie
a
the
fucking
Unicorn.
throwback.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think that perhaps this brewery is run by millennials.
You don't say.
Just a shot in the dark. Big guess there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's good. I like it. I've been drinking it a little bit already. Hence the burping. Erin, did we
I think that's right.
Yeah, Erin, what are you drinking?
Did it get switched up? I feel like I was last time. I mean, it's a push and a pop.
It's a push and a pop. Ben was, you were last, so you're second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, push and a pop. Mm-hmm. Pop and a push. I have a lemon lime seltzer and Vino Verde.
A Vino Verde. I love a Vino Verde.
Vino Verde.
Green
Me too.
wine?
Green wine.
Green
Is
wine.
that looks like white wine. Is this a stupid question?
Yeah.
Like,
No, we talked about Vino Verde last time I brought it, because I brought this very one. It's a, is it Vino Verde because it comes from a green grape? Is that what we decided?
Let's ask Google.
Yeah. I'm having
come from green grapes.
I'm having strong deja vu.
Yeah, I am too, but I don't mind it because I don't remember what the result of this conversation was last time.
It might have been the same, because also last time Hannah did have a Candy Mountain Charlie beer before or whatever, and you were like, "Wow, that's a throwback," and it might have been the same. We might have had him in the same episode.
Wow.
So I'm having strong deja vu.
Okay, so it's from Portugal, and it comes from the Minho province of Portugal. It technically means green wine, but it translates to young wine because it is released 3 to 6 months after the grapes are harvested.
Yeah.
So
Delicious.
Gotcha.
Young wine.
Okay.
Good stuff.
So it's green like a new recruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really
not-
nice.
It's not a worldly wine. It's a world wine. It's not like a worldly wine.
Yeah.
So
It's an inexperienced wine.
It's an experienced wine.
It's a naive wine.
Indeed. Ben, what are you drinking?
Yeah, Ben. Tell us.
I got water. I got a pickle jar.
Nice.
Water. I got a water bottle full
Oh.
of more water.
Nice.
And we're fucking ready to rumble.
Flu.
I'm hydrated as shit.
I lost my big water bottle. No idea where it is.
Oh, your comfort?
My emotional support water bottle. I had assumed I had left it in the car, and so I'd been using a different water bottle in the house. Too lazy to walk outside and get it. But then when I got in the car, it wasn't in there. And so now I'm like, well, now I've left it somewhere, and now it's been days.
Oh, no.
Like, if that day I had gone back and been like, oh, my water bottle isn't here, I could have retraced my steps. But now I'm like, I don't know what I did. All these days run together in a beautiful, blissful montage. And so I have no idea what I did with the day I lost it. So, good stuff. Hannah's writing that down for a possible episode title, I think.
Right.
Is what that silence is about.
That's just... I just couldn't have described a sabbatical better. Not that I've ever had one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Habatical. You've never habatical.
All right, let's talk about the pod sabbatical that we're going on for the next... It's going to be 5 weeks. So we talked about this a little bit last week. We weren't really sure.
5 weeks?
It's been 5 weeks. Because...
Really escalated.
No, it's the same as it was.
Wow.
As it was.
5 weeks? Describe it to me like I'm hearing it for the first time.
I definitely will. Okay. This weekend there's an episode. Obviously, that's what you're hearing right now. And we're making right now. Then you're away next week.
Wait, start over.
What? Is that
We're on a
are you referring to
podcast
episode
right now?
219?
Yeah. Erin, you're away for the next 3 weeks. So that's 3
I
of the episodes. Yes.
Where am I going?
I think that's a great plug for people to go back and listen to episode 218 or 217, I think, where you talked about where you were going.
What's that episode called?
What is it called? You tell me.
Oh, okay, hold on.
While you're doing that.
WeTooBra.com. I'm getting ghosted by my dentist.
That's right. That's right. Then the week that you return, Erin, Ben and Kylie are going over the pond.
What?
They'll be gone for a week, a little over a week. And then the week after that, Erin, you're going on vacation to a beach. So that's 5 weeks.
What beach?
It would have been. I'm really glad I'm seeing your parents when I go over, but it would have been really fucking hilarious if, like, me, your parents, and you and Kylie all went to Europe, like, within the same fucking month and, like, didn't fucking see each other. Just like.
I mean, it's funny enough that my parents and Kylie and I are going to the same city in Europe. And, not
And my parents
intersecting at
were
all.
there too.
Yeah.
My parents went with them.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Man, that's life sometimes.
yeah.
Frick.
So this the day this comes out is the 29th of May. And then the next time there will be a new episode with all 3 of us will be the 10th of July. So
Holy
that's
shit.
5 weeks. So
Wow.
here's what we're doing. Enchanted. I'm actually very excited about this because one thing that's been really hard about the book club thing is that I never know how to tell people, like, where to go back and listen if they are just now finding out about the book club. Like, I always have to go back and look up what episode did it start in, and then it's just like kind of like I do them here and there. It's not every week that there's one at the end of the episode. Plus you have to like scroll all the way to the end of the episode, and it's not like ideal, right? I also can't just put it all out as one big block because that's like gotta be in violation of some sort of copyright law.
Absolutely.
So
Which might get us some interesting press. or just some extra attention, but just from some lawyers. So,
yeah, but
could
maybe
get a
the
couple
lawyers
listeners.
would be interested in
We could go what?
investing.
We could get a couple listeners from the lawyers.
Yeah.
that's true. No press is bad press.
That's
no.
right. That's right.
Bad press is good press. Wait.
No press is bad press, I think is.
It's all press is good press.
All press is good press.
Well, that's the same.
No, because no press is bad press. Yeah, you're right, because that kind of has a double meaning. It's like having no press
Oh, wait,
is bad
I see.
press.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny. Did I say the exact same thing you said first?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure did, champ.
All right.
I do like bad press is good press, though. It's a little hyper specific, but
Press is good. 'Cause that's also kind of the point of all press is
Right.
good press.
yeah,
That's
I
right.
think, I think nothing you said was wrong, and you did a great job.
Yeah. Bad press is impress. All right, let's keep.
Okay, so so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and sort of remaster what I've already read, and then once I've done that, I'm going to read the rest of the book. So starting next week, I'll be putting out chapters 1 through 6. I'll just like chop out the like intro and outro parts that are not relevant anymore, and then I think by like the 4th week of the month, I think the last 2 weeks of our sabbatical will be new parts of the book. So I do apologize to those who have been keeping up, because it is going to be repeated content for a little while, but it will also be a nice like segment of episodes that you can point people to or go back and listen to, like if you want to hear the book again or whatever, that are all together.
That's great.
So I'm very happy about that. So that's what
Love that plan. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So that's what the podcast is going to be until July 10th. And then we'll be back with more episodes.
We'll be back.
Really do. And don't forget, Erin, you're editing that. Because I'll be camping.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. 10-4. Can do.
So, cool.
I have a couple upfronts. My first upfront is that I finally watched Heartstopper and I freaking loved it.
Yay!
Freaking loved it.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm rewatching it with Molly, making Molly watch it with me.
Amazing.
And it's just, it's everything Hannah said. It's so nice. Soundtrack's gay. It's so sweet. I cry every episode. It's just if you need some queer joy in your life,
yeah.
absolutely listen to.
I love the last 4
watch
episodes.
Heartstopper.
Yeah.
You should watch the whole thing, Ben.
You should watch the first
Maybe.
4, yeah.
Yeah. If you're everyone, you should watch it. If you're Ben, you should watch all of it. Would be my recommendation there.
So glad that you watched. As I was editing, I told you this already, Erin, but as I was editing last week's episode, I had not realized how many times I was like, you have to watch Heartstopper. And I felt like if someone did that to me, I would never do what they were asking me to do. And I felt like maybe I had pushed too hard, but I'm very glad.
No, you know your audience. You know your audience. I feel like I, for some reason, have such a hard time starting something new. And then I'm just was really grateful. I mean, as soon as I started it, I was like, this is wonderful. And I'm so glad to have seen it. So.
Yay. So glad.
My other upfront is I wanted to tell why I'm tired on podcast. And the reason is that I woke up at like 3:45. I've been up since 3:45 in the morning because I couldn't get back to sleep after I had a dream where the last thing that happened in the dream, I don't know what was happening before, was that in the dream, Molly was like on the outside of our closed bedroom door and opened the door and stuck her head in and said, "Hey, Erin." And I woke up from my dream and said out loud, "Yeah." I was like, so you've all had those where you hear something you think it's happening in real life and it wakes you up.
Yeah.
But I was like so committed to answering Molly. I was like, yeah. And I was it was like so freaky because she was obviously sleeping right next to me and I had just done something stupid and then I was just awake for the rest of the morning. So that's
So
my
sorry
story.
you couldn't get back to sleep, but that is funny.
I also had too much caffeine yesterday, so that's on me. That's on me.
I had a dream recently where the doorbell rang and it was so real to me that it woke me up and I had a really hard time convincing myself that the doorbell had not actually rung. But I remembered that my doorbell does not sound like that anymore. Like I don't really. Our doorbell was broken when we got here, and now we have a video doorbell, and all it does is make my phone buzz a lot. Like, so
nice.
Yeah,
great. That's one advantage of having a dog who thinks that he owns the place, is that, like, if you think you hear a noise in the night, like, the dog is definitely going to hear it if it's real, and so you can just kind of be like, Henry's not stirring, so I'm probably fine.
That is spooky, though. It's a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
Maybe you were, like, shifting a dimension a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Molly, in another dimension, an alternate universe, was peeking her head in and asking me something, and hopefully I responded in that universe, because I did in this one. Yeah.
In that universe, you were too deep asleep and you didn't respond.
I'm kind of sad that Molly wasn't. I'm glad she didn't wake up. I didn't wake her up, but that would be really funny to just kind of wake up to somebody going, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing. Was like Molly had heard it.
Yeah. I think I lifted my head up too. Can I help you?
Oh man. What, do I have other upfronts? What else did we talk about last week?
Who knows?
What even was last week? Oh,
no way to know.
I've been continuing my hairstyling journey, and I just have to say, my favorite thing so far about this haircut is that the longer I go without having shampooed it, the better it looks.
Mm-hmm. No poo is the way, in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
I thought you were gonna say
you should poop though.
You should poop. Yeah.
Don't go no poop.
Don't do that. I thought you were gonna say your favorite part of that haircut is it gives you an excuse to Marco Polo with me every day, but it's fine. If that's not.
I do. I've been giving Erin hairstyling updates every day. And also, Erin helped me realize that I didn't get the cut that I wanted, and helped me find a hairstylist who seems like they could get me the cut that I wanted. And I made an appointment with them. So I'm gonna live with it for a few more weeks, and then at the end of June, I'm gonna go and probably get the sides shortened so that it's more like a pixie cut, which is what I asked for. And I'm also getting a color consult.
There was a lot of head movement when Hannah said that. What I asked for. We all did a physical bit.
I feel like saying I helped you with any of those things is so generous. I feel like I was like, I don't know, just like look at an Instagram of a hairstylist and see if you like what they do.
Yeah. You know what helped? Go ahead.
Emotionally supportive.
Yes, emotionally supportive, absolutely. And then also it helped when you compared it to finding a tattoo artist, because I had not really put it on that like type of I don't know, I hadn't thought about it that way. I'd just been like, okay, who can I find that's close and seems like they would cut my hair, and like that's the most I had thought about it.
It seems like they would cut
because I was looking for barber shops after I was like, I don't think this woman is used to cutting long or short hair. I was looking for like a barber shop that looked like it maybe would cut women's hair, because some of them won't. And I wasn't really finding anything that was giving me like queer vibes at all near me. And then I was like, and then Erin was like, Instagram, and I was like, oh, fucking of course. So I found them there.
Cool.
Also,
love that. Hey,
yeah,
hooray! I meant to say hooray and not hey.
I also realized that I'm like only an hour away from like the literal lesbian capital of my entire state.
Oh, what a breakthrough! Yeah. What a fucking breakthrough! If you're looking to get a gay cut, look no further. Yeah. And in my mind,
yeah.
Wow, you're gonna pick of the litter.
The place near Amherst,
Northampton.
Northampton. Yeah.
Have we sojourned to Northampton before?
Maybe, because we went out that way when
was I lesbian yet?
Yes, that was when you were. Yeah. It was after I graduated, and we went back, and you were like busking. We might have gone to Northampton. I don't know if you
was I lesbian yet.
Important question.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty. I don't know. I just don't recall if we actually went to Northampton, but.
I feel like I would have remembered if we had.
Well, you should go. It's great.
It's my people. My people.
I could bring you if you come visit. We could definitely go to Northampton.
Great. Great. Great.
Cool. And we're making more vacation plans when we're all about to go on vacation. Mostly you two.
Where?
Wow.
Wait, we are?
You're going to Canada, and then
Are we going together?
no, you're not going together.
Oh, okay. Why not?
I've also almost finished Spirit Fair, and just to give an update, the updates to the game are all great, and I would highly recommend revisiting it if you haven't played it recently. I'm gonna maybe reach out to Sarah about it just to make sure that she knows about them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good deal. We are vacationing together later in the summer, though.
True story.
Oh yeah. All right, should we pop in?
Yeah, let's cut that out. Cut all that out. Let's pop in.
All of
Any
it?
more upfronts, though?
You want to just jump into? So it'll be like the theme music, introductions.
Yeah.
What are we drinking, and then straight to here.
And just,
No,
cut
not
all
even.
that.
No, just skip straight to here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Intro.
and not even us talking. Like not. We're not us saying let's pop in. Just straight to
Straight
whoever's
into it.
first.
Okay, I'm first.
Hannah, what's your obsession?
Okay. Well, that's an interesting question because I have been doing a lot this week, but not a lot of it was new. I've been, as I briefly addressed, on a hair journey. I've been playing Spirit Fair, as I already said. I've been trying. Okay, I downloaded the entire Harry Styles album, the new one, Harry's House, that came out like 6 days ago. As I'm recording this, to listen to it on the way to my parents' house because we went to I went to work at their house for a day this week for doctor's office reasons. It's not interesting, and but Ian wanted to listen to the podcast instead, so I didn't get to listen to it.
Aw.
Yeah,
Wow,
This
what a
podcast?
fucking nerd.
yeah, this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that your parents had a doctor's office in their house. That's cool.
That you work at sometimes.
That you work at, yeah. Yeah.
All right, here's
The family-run doctor's office.
I didn't either.
Okay, they might as well. It's like 3 minutes down the street, and it's about 2 hours from my house. So when I have to go in for in-person visits to my doctor's office, I usually like work at their house and then just go in for the appointment and leave at the end of the workday. Because I can't leave my doctor's office. I like them too much. I had an amazing experience at the doctor's office this week. I told you guys about it. I thought on Slack, I thought about bringing that as my obsession because I've been like telling people about it, other people as well. But every time I talk about it, I cry at least a little bit. And I don't want to do that this week. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, but it was a very good experience. So yeah, all that being said, I guess I don't really have an obsession. I had a couple of things floating around in my head. One of them I had definitely settled on, but now I can't remember what it was.
I do have two. I'm bringing two obsessions.
Hannah, is your obsession dead air?
Good one, Hannah.
Like,
Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah, that's good. Oh, now it's dead air without
Yeah,
my
I get
fucking
it.
computer
No,
fan.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I just don't know what I was going to talk about, and I don't know if I don't know if it's going to come back. So
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm not coming in hot. I'm not adding you. Did you take an edible today?
no, I didn't. I would like to after this, but I didn't today.
Erin's putting you on blast.
I'm not putting you on blast. I'm simply inquiring within. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing all those things that I talked about a lot, but I don't have an obsession.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's A-okay. We could just move on to Erin, I guess.
I do have two obsessions, and you can always, if you remember what you wanted to talk about, we could put you in the middle of them.
Okay. All right.
So I can stop after my first obsession and check back in.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, welcome to me now.
Welcome to Erin now.
I have two obsessions, and I feel like that's my right. And so I was like, oh, I got to choose between them, but I'm not gonna. One is an obsession that's been a strong obsession all weekend and all week, and one is an obsession that I've been kind of binging today. So I'll start with that one. It's a podcast. It's called Partners And it's shout out to friend Sam, for putting this on my radar in the first place. I might have mentioned this podcast when I think I brought the book Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. But this is it's by Radiotopia and MailChimp.
What?
Yeah, a MailChimp podcast made in partnership with Radiotopia, and it's great. It's about, so I'll read their blurb. On this podcast, two partners tell their shared story, how they found each other, and what it took to make their partnership work. Featuring all kinds of partnerships, business, romantic, creative, the show is an intimate portrait of two people who have managed to make something together. And it's just really lovely, and they're short episodes. They're usually like 15 to 20 minutes or sometimes shorter, and they've got all sorts of partners, like they said. My favorite episode, which I'm really going to shout out, is I've just navigated away on my app, please excuse me, is there's one with Roxane Gay and Debbie Millman that I've listened to 3 times. It is so freaking nice. If you need some queer joy in your life, listen to that episode. It's just, I'll read the blurb for that specific episode because I strongly rec it. Roxane Gay and Debbie Millman are a creative power couple, each with their own impressive careers built over decades of work. Roxane is the best-selling author of Hunger and Bad Feminist. Debbie Millman is a design legend and host of the award-winning podcast Design Matters. Debbie's professional interest in interviewing Roxane about her work ended up blossoming into a romance that neither expected. It's just them talking about like how their relationship happened and what it means to them, and it's just so nice and so beautiful. And I find that I love all of these episodes because it really explores like the intimacy between, even like, you know, this one was, I think, the only one that's actually, there's a real life romance. The other ones are creative. They're more like creative partners or father and son, or that are in creative endeavors. I think all the rest are more creative endeavors, but there's like intimacy there. That's like really interesting and beautiful, and it's just fun. The host barely speaks, like only speaks to intro the podcast and to like interject with a definition if it's not clear. Otherwise it's just the people, so it's not like interview style, it's more like just the people, kind of almost like a spoken memoir kind of style. So anyway, just nice. It's nice.
Sounds
check it
nice.
out.
It looks
Sounds
nice.
good.
Excuse me. Yeah. And if you're going to listen to one episode, listen to that Roxane Gay, Debbie Millman.
Oh, there's
but also
episode with Tegan and Sarah, too.
Yeah, that's great, too. I re-listened to that today. There's one with Samin Nasserat and Wendy McNaughton. Pardon my mispronunciation of that. Who worked together on Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Another really nice one is, I'm going to mispronounce her name, I'm so sorry, Amina Tauso and Anne Friedman. They're best friends, and they're co-hosts of a podcast called Call Your Girlfriend, but mostly this episode of this podcast revolves around like their friendship and like how the work that they've done to like maintain it over a long distance, and just like the intimacy of their best friendship. And I just love shit like that. It really makes me reflect on like how relationships with other people is just like such an acute pleasure in our life of all sorts. And so not just our romantic relationships, but our friendships are just how rewarding and, you know, and lovely they are. So freaking shout out.
That's really true. You know, and I think like part of what keeps me like optimistic about the world in general, and like when like why I still would call myself a humanist rather than like I don't know, just like a total hater of all people and like anarchist. I mean, I have anarchistic tendencies to my like political thought lately, but I've met so many people in my life, those that I've formed like really like long-standing relationships with of various types, and those that I haven't, and the vast majority of them have had something to offer to me and to the people around them, and have brought like, I mean, I think that you can learn something from anybody, even if it's just like how to deal with people who like super suck, you know, but like the majority of them, you know, when you actually talk to them and get to know them, like their hearts are in the right place and they're good people. well, maybe not, maybe they're not like the textbook definition of a good person the way that you would want it described, but like they're, we're all like people. And I feel like having like relationships and partnerships are important, but also just like staying in touch with the fact that just being in contact with people and getting to know people is really valuable and important.
Yeah. I feel like there's just like a special pleasure in like sitting with someone who and who knows you. There's just like, I don't know, there's nothing like it, There's that just like that intimacy and just like the like all that work, all the work that goes into maintaining a friendship and scheduling and whatever. When you're just kind of there in it, it's just, I don't know, it's just, there's nothing like it. And so just binging the podcast all day really made me reflect on that.
So nice.
Yep.
I did remember one of the things.
Great. Perfect.
And I would like to share it. It actually, I don't think was the thing I was thinking of talking about, but it's better. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I know I haven't brought it as an obsession. There is.
How does she know it's better if she doesn't know what the other thing was?
I think I remembered what it was, and it's not as good.
Bitch, it might be better.
But that's a great one. I potentially will check that out. I don't spend a lot of time listening to podcasts anymore, which is so weird. But
no commute.
Yeah, that's true. There is a YouTuber named Symbalily. Symbalily.
Sounds familiar.
I think I've posted her videos on Slack before, because right now she's doing a playthrough of Hollow Knight, and it's just completely a delight, start to finish, delightful. She's a game developer professionally. Her name's Amber, and she is adorable. And she does she tries when she reads all the text that anybody says. She loves the little details of games, right? Because she's a game developer. So she reads all of the text that's in the game aloud. She goes back and checks back to see if people have new things to say. She listens to the voices that the game audio has for the characters and tries to mimic that voice when she does the voices, reads the words. It's very, very cute. Uh-huh. And she notices a lot of stuff that I wouldn't notice, like about the layers of art in it and stuff, and like comments on them. And also she's just actually in a very unassuming way is extremely good at the game. Like she didn't die for until after she'd beat a couple of the first bosses.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
But she was just like, she's it's very sweet and it's great content. I just love it. I just would highly recommend it, whether you've played Hollow Knight or not, unless you're planning on playing it and you don't want spoilers, because she's getting through it at kind of a clip since she barely ever dies. But she's just a total sweetheart, and she's actually grown a lot. Her first video in this series was one of her higher engagement videos ever, from what I gather. And so she's kind of also dealing with suddenly feeling like there's a lot more eyes on her. And I think some things in her personal life. But even considering all of that, I just can't recommend it enough. I just think it's so delightful. Ian and I watch it together and we get such joy out of it. So
this looks dope. Is she British?
Yes, she's British.
Why?
That's a great question.
I was looking at her Instagram, and she's British because I was looking at her Instagram, and she said, "This arrived in the post today," and I was like, "Oh."
And what was it?
That makes you British.
Scoped her out. You caught her.
It does make you British.
What arrived in the post?
Her t-shirt.
Nice. And she's got a really cute streak in the front of her hair. And she's nice. I like her. Oh, yeah. She worked on Fable.
I'm going to check that out.
You know the game Fable?
Check. No.
Yeah.
She worked on it?
I think. Is that like an old Xbox game? Or did they make a new one?
It's the new one, right? So she was around 11 or 12 when the first Fable came out, but now there is a new one that she was working on. At least that she was a year ago.
Yeah, there is a new one coming out. It was announced as being in development in 2020, and it has not been released yet, and has not been announced with a release date yet. But I feel like I remember them announcing it at E3, and people got excited because they liked old Fable.
Cool.
I've never played it.
Me neither.
I've heard of it.
Me freaking neither.
But it's good.
That looks lovely, Hannah. I'm gonna check that the frick out.
It's really lovely. Big,
I love Hollow Knight.
recommend.
So good.
Okay, Erin, what's your second obsession? Sorry about the time shift
All right.
there.
No, that's good. That's exactly what I was expecting. I anticipated you
Thanks.
with my
She
invitation
read
to
you
go
like
right
a
in the
fucking
middle.
book.
I really did. I really did. I thought during my obsession, she's going to be thinking about. She's not going to be listening. She's going to be thinking about what could possibly be her obsession, and she's going to come up with.
Well, I did.
JK.
Okay, that is
Why
what
not
happened,
both?
but I remembered it really early on, so I was listening for most of the time.
You were able to check back in. My other one is a game that Molly and I have been playing. We've been absolutely obsessed with. It's a card game. It's called Monopoly Deal.
Oh,
Okay.
Don't judge it by its Monopoly name. It is a fast game, and it's
Is
not
Monopoly
fast like
maligned by people?
I think it's like it's like not maligned, but it's got a reputation for like being like
Boring.
so long and boring. So Monopoly Deal is a fast game, and it's not like fast compared to Monopoly. It like is a fast game. Like a hand could take 10 or 15 minutes to play.
Oh.
Like what a round could play. Like, and you like we snuck in a couple during like Molly had like 30 minutes for breakfast, and we played like 2 games. And so it's like a game that you can kind of just play. Our friends turned us on to it. They really loved it, and so we picked it up. It's fun. It's kind of like the mechanics to me feel kind of similar almost to like a very condensed game of Dominion in a way. It's like you're managing a bank. You kind of have to manage your bank resources a little bit, and the goal is to get a certain number of properties sets in front of you based on cards that you pick up, and then you have actions you can do that can like let you pick up more cards or steal cards from the other players. And it's just really fun. It's just a quick kind of fun, mostly luck, but a little bit of skill in there. Just kind of addictive. The cards are just like really pretty, and we've just been freaking obsessed. We've been playing Monopoly Deal all the freaking time. We spent like Saturday we did our normal like Dominion brunch, of course. Of course we're gonna do that.
Of course. Come on.
And Sunday too, but basically we learned it on Saturday night and played it a ton, and then we did our like Dominion brunch on Sunday, and then we cleaned up from brunch, and then we sat down at the table and we played Monopoly Deal like the rest of the day, like into dinner time. Like both of us were like having shoulder pain the next day just because we were like, we're playing Monopoly Deal all day. So anyway,
Did you already
fun.
say how quick is the setup for the game?
It's just a lot of shuffling.
Nice.
All you have to do,
Love that.
it's kind of a big deck, and you have to shuffle it really well, and then you deal out 5 cards each, and you're off to the races. That's
Cool.
it.
Love that. Love quick setup.
Bada bing,
games.
bada boom. Yeah.
Only downside of Dominion is the setup time.
It's a whole freaking production
Yeah.
with Dominion.
Yeah, it truly is.
It truly is. It's worth
Especially
it,
when you're
but...
mixing expansions, it's all a
Oh
big
my
thing.
god. You
Love
gotta
it,
get
though.
events. Oh, because your tokens. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh god, you got the
It's
extra
the
stuff
whole
in
fucking
there.
thing. Oh my god.
oh my god.
Check it out, Monopoly Deal. You could probably pick it up anywhere. I think I got
yeah.
this one out of freaking Barnes & Noble. Okay?
Barnes and Noble of all places.
Okay?
You
All
can get it anywhere.
places. Anywhere. Literally anywhere. Check under your seat. There's a copy under your seat. This is Oprah.
You get Monopoly Deal. You get Monopoly Deal, and you get Monopoly Deal.
Do you know how long it's been around?
As long as
For
Oprah.
a while. There's a great site I found. So one of the things is like I didn't find I really understood how to play 100% from the instructions, but there is there's a website called, let me find it.
MonopolyDeal.net.
MonopolyDealRules.com.
Wow.
And it looks like just some fan HTML site that's actually very helpful. And it goes into like super intense detail about and like the style of the card pictures they have are like old. Like if you go to the site MonopolyDealRules.com, they have like revamped the look of the cards. Like they do not look
That, I
like this
mean, also at the
anymore.
top, the like Monopoly Deal strategy, click here, and there is a very old Twitter logo.
Yeah, right. Like this website is old.
Oh wow.
But it's very helpful. Like the rules are mostly the same, I think, which makes me think it's been around for at least a little while. So this is copyright 2012. Monopoly Deal strategy. But this website looks a lot older than that.
Wow, I thought that was a Tumblr logo.
Oh, I think that is a Tumblr logo.
But
No,
it says
when you
tweet
hover
this.
over it, it says tweet this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Wait, but that does look like.
It looks like the Tumblr logo, right?
What is the Tumblr logo? No, it's not. The Tumblr logo is like a Times New Roman T, kind of
What about the old?
old Twitter logo. Yeah, that's the old Twitter logo.
Let me look how long it's been around. When? So you might need to go online just to. There were just some mechanics where I was like, oh, it's a little unclear, but it really clicks in. Deal release date.
Oh, and they have another website,
2001.
MonopolyDealStrategy.com.
Yeah, that was helpful. Anyway, just a fun, fast-paced game. Just like a little, if you just have like a little pocket of time and you want to you do need a fair bit of table space in front of you because you kind of, you accumulate a lot of stuff on the table. But it's just like if you have a little pocket of time, just want to play a quick little cheeky game, a Monopoly Deal is a great choice for you.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah, that's it.
We should play
Might
it.
pick that up.
Oh, bring it with you
Pick it
to the wedding. We could play it.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Those are my sessions.
Sick.
If you didn't want to talk to the person you were playing with, you could play a game of Monopoly Deal in about the time it takes you to listen to the Partners podcast.
That's true. Another good thing about it is we obviously play Skippo, which we like.
Obviously.
And we like to play a game while we eat. We've recently been getting into Uno, which is very fun, but when you're eating dinner, Uno is kind of a no-break game. We get into this obscure game. You probably haven't heard of it. It's called Uno.
Man, I want to play Uno now. I feel like Uno is also
Uno's
not
fun.
as fun with two people because like the reverse cards are like
It is.
Pointless.
Yeah, they're
Right.
pointless, but they are fun. It is fun. We've been having a lot of fun with Uno. And if you buy Uno, a new version of Uno, there's a new card, which is a wild card called Shuffle Hands.
A Nuno.
Which is really, really fun.
Whoa.
Yeah, Nuno. And if you have if you play the Shuffle Hands card, the other person gives you their cards. You shuffle your cards and their cards, and you deal their card first. So if someone has Uno, you can leverage it. You can keep it in your hand until they have Uno, and then you pick the color. That's a super fun card. We've been having a ton of fun playing Uno with just
when
the two
you
of
do
us.
that, when you do the shuffle, do you deal out the number of cards to each person that they originally had in their hand?
No.
You
deal
split the
them
new
out
cards 50-50?
evenly, starting with dealing for the first person. So if there's an odd number, the person who did not play the Shuffle Hands card gets more cards.
powerful. Powerful.
Yeah, and there's only one in the whole deck.
Love that.
Shit.
We should play that
It's
too.
very fun.
Uno.
We also came up with the house rule when it's 2-player Uno. Well, we do 2 house rules. One house rule is if you play a
Uno.
wild draw 4, you do not. If someone plays a wild draw 4 against you, it does not skip your turn. That makes it more fun because then you have like a fight.
Oh my god, it normally skips
people.
people's turns?
Yeah.
Also?
Yeah,
What
which
the
makes
fuck?
sense
That's too
in a group, but it would suck if a person only had 2 cards and they played one as a wild draw 4. You'd be fucked 100% of the time. So the house rule is that you get to play after a wild draw 4 is played against you. Another one that Chloe introduced us to is that if someone plays a draw 2, instead of like immediately drawing 2 and losing your turn, you can retaliate with the draw 2, and then the next person then has to draw. The next person has to draw 4. So you can kind of keep retaliating with draw 2s, and it accumulates until somebody doesn't have one, and then they're hit with it.
Interesting.
That's kind of fun. So yeah,
I'd be cool. I feel like a fun one could be that if someone plays.
No.
Did I say that?
up.
I think it'd be cool.
Ben. Jesus Christ.
I think it'd be cool to have a house rule where if someone plays a draw 2 and you play reverse, then they have to draw 2
No.
instead of you.
I don't like that.
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing. Is if it's in your house, you can make up your rules.
It's true. Why don't you
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Because that's different than the draw 2 rule makes sense because you can like, it's like you're stacking. It's like they're surfing on top of each other, right? That's how I envision it. But the reverse is
I
just a
don't
different
think
card.
one of those makes Yeah, but what? But why does that make more sense? Because the draw, like the way the draw two works is the next person draws two normally.
Then if you don't get it by now, I don't think I can explain it to you.
Listen, don't put Ben down for his...
I think in both cases, the card is doing the thing it doesn't normally does, but it's still kind of in theme of what it does.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think maybe it could make sense in a 2-player game. It just feels more unfair to me. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I guess that would be a cool way to make reverse cards actually useful in a 2-person game.
Yeah. Agree.
Otherwise, they're nothing. They're just a color.
Yep.
My turn now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Erin.
The last thing I was gonna say is, and this is all I'm gonna say, is that we accidentally organically played a game of strip bow the other day. I'll let you. It was totally organic, just fun. So there's all sorts of home rules you can play when you're just playing your out of the box children's games. Continue.
Draw 4, but if you strip, you don't lose your turn.
Yeah, but it's Skippo. I don't remember the mechanics exactly, but there were mechanisms where it was fun. It was a good time.
Nice.
Okay, I have a very minor obsession.
Okay.
Which is that, so I, especially in like meetings and stuff, I'm a big fidgeter. I often just like randomly pick up stuff from my desk. Very common thing is for me to pick up a little like SD card holder thing and just open and close it, which is nice because it makes annoying clicks for whoever I'm on the call with. And so Kylie was at our local board game store the other day and very thoughtfully decided to get me a couple of fidget toys. And one of them that I really liked, although I don't really consider it a fidget toy, is this like magnet ball thing.
Ooh.
So
nice.
For the listeners, it's a dodecahedron. So it's made of a bunch of pentagons, and then you can detach the pentagons, and there's like a little magnet on each of the 5 sides. And they're like see-through kind of like colored cool plastic. And it's really fun because it comes as like a dodecahedron, but you can just take it completely apart and then like make a whole bunch of different shapes with it, which is why I don't really consider it a fidget toy. Well, it kind of depends. Like if you're
It's like an idle toy.
Yes, exactly. Like it's good for like if you're doing something where you want to like, you can like half pay attention, but you kind of want to do something else with your hands. That's like a little bit engaging. But not like how you have to think about it super carefully or anything. It's really nice for that because I had fun the other night getting high and watching One Piece while I was just like making different shapes out of my magnet toy.
Nice.
It was really, really fun. And then if you have like just a stack of 4 of them, for example, you can be kind of a fidget thing where you're just like moving them around and like putting one on top and then doing that.
Pancake style.
Yeah, basically. I really I think the design is really clever of them because they can all like attach. There's no way you can attach them where the magnets are going to repel. And that's because the magnets are little spheres and they're in like the little pocket that they're in is big enough that the spheres can rotate around in it such that they'll like always align with each other. So
cool.
It allows you to like make and there's one side that's clear of all of them and one side that's colored, and they sell a bunch that are like different colors. This one's purple. And you can like attach it with the colored side out or with the clear side out no matter what you're making. And so in addition to making fun shapes, you can do different like color combinations. They're called, this particular product is from a company called Speks, and it's called the Speks Geode. I have the quartz color one, but they have 8 colors.
CK? SPECK?
SPEKS.
Oh, yeah. CK is a phone case company.
Yeah. And then Geode spelled normally.
They call it a fidget spear.
I know. And it was like with all the other fidget stuff at the... And I like, in a way it is. Like one thing I like to do is take just 6 of them and you like stack them sort of... so they're like offset by 1. That's kind of how they naturally stack together if you have 2 rows. And then doing like the little, just like move one up to the top of the row next to it thing. Or the top of the row that it's on. Because that is like a nice fidget thing. The magnet what?
They have like a rainbow magnet ball.
Ooh.
Oh, let me show you this. Oh,
they are the ones that used to that make the like just the magnet balls by themselves. I used to have those. And the only thing
the
about
ones
those,
just like a bunch of little balls of magnets.
yeah, the only thing about those that sucks is if you like pull them apart real quick and one like flies off, you'll never find it again in your life. And then I worry about like pets finding them, and if they ate like two, you know, it's nice that they're enclosed in this.
God, Hazel would absolutely eat a little magnet ball.
Ooh, they got like big giant magnet balls too. Ooh, they got
that girl
all kinds of fun
wants to eat
stuff.
everything.
Oh boy, I might buy.
What were the ones that you liked, Erin?
the little magnet. What are they called?
They're called Speks, right?
Speks, yeah.
Oh wait, that's like the flagship
magnets.
product.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And they come in like rainbow. It's really
Oh
cool.
yeah, that's cool. Anyway, magnets fucking rock. Speks Geode is a fun thing.
Shout
play
out to
with.
fucking magnets.
Yeah.
Fucking magnets, how do they work?
How do they work?
No one knows.
You know, they don't even tell us at school. It's hidden knowledge.
And the geode comes in several colors as well.
Yeah, I did say that a couple times.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like
He
the
sure fucking did.
topaz one.
Yeah, there's
Several.
8 colors, I believe.
Yeah,
possibly
it looks
more?
like there's about 8 colors, so.
Oh, cool. I think there
Possibly
are
more.
8 colors. Mine's quartz, which is purple. I agree. I think the aqua one is really nice. I also like the lava one,
The red.
which is red.
Hannah, Ben has a purple. Ben's are purple.
Yeah, and the color is called quartz on the
Ben's is
Speks
purple, but
website.
there are other colors on the website, like 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are there? How many?
There's like 8 of them.
Anyway, that's
This
it.
one's nice.
It's a minor
one's
obsession.
That one's quartz. It's a purple color.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. That's
I've made that shape.
Yeah, I might
Oh,
get one.
cool. I might get that one.
pancake style.
Did you see the crags?
Fun. What other fidgety fidge did she get
Yeah,
you?
good question.
Hold on, I can go get it. I don't know what it's called, though, so this is not going to be helpful for the listeners. Oh, wait, no, I do. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Man, his story keeps changing.
Really does. Starting to get suspicious. Oh, you can make a little pineapple with it.
Oh,
Ben,
cute.
Yeah.
Ben, have you made a pineapple?
No. Ooh, that's fun.
Make it. Make it right now.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and look at this one. Look, there's this one too. That's on the edge there. That's kind of different.
Yeah, I like that. I think I have made that one. Brain.
Do you have enough to make
the
the
company is called Brainright. I don't know what the product is though.
Oh, there's your
here it
shape
is.
guide.
The Gy rings.
Can I see? I wasn't.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
So it's like the concentric plastic circles that all spin. This one is an excellent fidget thing. Especially, you can take it apart. You can like take the rings out. And so there are five rings total, and then the middle one has a little like ball in it that also spins. And you can't take the ball out, but you can take any of the rings out. And so I like to take out like the middle 3. So I take out the very middle one and the very outer one. And this is like excellent fidget spin around thing. This is like
Fidget spin around.
fidget spin around. It's not a fidget spinner. Don't get it mixed up.
Don't get it twisted.
It's just like a nice, I don't know. I do, this one is really excellent for fidgeting, and I'm going to bring to work to actually have as a fidget thing on my desk. So Kylie knocked it out of the park. She got 2 things for me. One of them doing the job exactly right. One of them not, but I still really like it and like playing with it, even though it's not.
One of them
for its
doing a
intended
job you
purpose.
didn't even know that you needed.
Exactly.
That's right.
And
That's the real job.
And that's what's so beautiful about relationships and bringing it back to Erin's obsession. Sometimes when you form a partnership, someone just does stuff for you that you don't even know that you wanted. Did I say that?
No, Erin.
I did, and I was just like, "That's so funny to me," even though like there's nothing there. But Hannah was also having that moment
I
with me.
didn't hear it at all. I thought it was fucking I'd be cool again, and I said something dumb and didn't hear myself.
That's the real
The
job.
real job.
deep, so deep.
The job you didn't even know you had.
The real job is what happens when you're making plans about other jobs. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Wow. That's really neat. Kylie is great.
Yeah. Can you ask her?
I'll say it.
If she wants to be on the podcast instead of you?
I'm not gonna do that. No.
Okay.
I'll go on record and say Kylie's great.
Yeah, Kylie's great.
I'll say
Hot take.
it. Yeah.
Great.
I have to tell her that I loved Heartstopper. Oh, I gotta go and find that thread and read it in Slack.
Oh, yeah.
Slack.
In Slack. Oh, Slab is a different website. I forgot.
Please excuse me.
That is frustrating ever since I've gone to the Slab website every time I go to type in Slack. And, like, their logos are pretty similar, too. Like, it's similar colors. Mm-hmm. So, thanks a lot.
That sounds really hard. That sounds really
you
hard
doing
for
okay?
You. How are you
doing
dealing
okay,
with
bud?
that?
I'm doing okay. Ben, your cough seems like it's maybe gone? Question mark.
My cough is pretty much gone. Kylie's, on the other hand, is in full force.
Oh no.
And possibly getting worse.
Oh no.
So we're gonna talk a doctor about that.
We're gonna talk a doc.
We're gonna talk a doc about that
Just
one.
head over to your parents' house.
Oh
Yeah.
right, yeah. No, but then I have to do a shift at the doctor's office there. That's the rule. Whenever we go home, we have to do a shift at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, although right in time for my cough being gone, the pollen count went through the fucking roof here while all the flowers are blooming, and my allergies are absolutely blasting me, even through the Allegra on some days, like today.
Wow.
Because I was doing a lot
Blast.
of like cleaning and preparing for the trip tomorrow, and I know. Oh yeah, we're going to Canada. You're coming, right?
Yeah, Kylie's getting
Did Kylie prepare her skin? Is her skin ready?
Her skin's great.
She need anything on there? Is it good to go? Anything to
She's
do?
got lotion. She's chilling.
Yeah.
She have to like kind of pat it in advance. or
Yeah, you
anything?
have to pat it once a day for a week before. Did they not tell you that?
I feel like that.
No, she hasn't been patting it.
I feel like Isn't that crazy that you don't have to do anything? The skin's just ready for the tattoo. It wants the ink.
What a weird thing that you both just said. Wants the ink.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really weird that you can actually go into shock if you're getting tattooed for too long, because you're like technically being injured.
Apparently, it kind of like always happens for long tattoos. Like, or Kylie was reading that like the pain is apparently maybe you can confirm this, having just recently gotten 2 tattoos, that the pain is the worst like at the very beginning, but then your body kind of goes into like a minor state of shock, and it's like not so bad.
Yeah, it sounds dramatic, but like I definitely did. So there's the thing that they say, that they said to me was like, you might start getting really cold or really hot after a couple hours, and that's your body going into shock. But it's not like it doesn't like it's not dangerous, I don't think. But yeah, it's a form of your body going into shock. But yeah, you get very used to it. It's like, the analogy I'm thinking of is not family friendly, so I can't.
Are we a family friendly podcast?
The skin wants the ink. I don't really want to hear it. Honestly,
it's a vibrating machine, right? So if you have a vibrating machine on your skin for too long, eventually you get used to it. That's all.
That's what I was gonna say. If it's not family friendly, it's definitely a TMI.
That's right.
The skin does want the ink.
The skin wants the ink. It wants it.
All right, should we do homework?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Last homework. Enjoy this homework. It's gonna need to last you for 5
That's
weeks.
right. That's right.
5 sweet baby weeks.
Yes, I have 2 things of homework for you all. One of them is to go watch Symbalily on YouTube. She's lovely. The other one is to come back over the next 5 weeks and listen to me read all the way through, start to finish, Ella Enchanted. Some of it, maybe you've already heard, maybe you missed a couple. It's all going to be there right in a row for you. So Ben and Erin will be gone. They're abandoning us. They're not going to be here, but we'll be here. I'll be here.
Where?
So come back and listen to me talking to you. And I will put in like a little explainer at the start of every week. So there will be some new talking from me if you're into that kind of thing. But mostly it'll be stuff I've already read until like a few weeks from now.
Hannah, thank you for canceling your travel plans to hold down the podcast for.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope we start turning a profit from this podcast soon because I didn't get my deposits back. So
I don't hold your breath on that one.
Send us some Ko-Fis. That's all a joke.
Maybe if we were a little more family friendly, we'd be doing better.
No, I didn't lose any money on any of this. It's just my big idea, and I'm excited about it. Erin, what's your homework?
That's the real job. My homework is to listen to the Partners podcast and check out Monopoly Deal, you little flips. A great game. A great game.
Get it anywhere.
Get it literally anywhere. Check neath your seat. Might be there.
Check neath your seat.
Beneath your seat with an apostrophe.
Damn, that was so cool. How you abbreviated that word? Shit.
You know what would make me really cool?
I'd be really cool.
I'd be really cool.
I'd be really cool if I said neath like that.
You'd be really cool if you play Monopoly Deal. It might make you less cool, but you'll have more fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Check it
That's
out.
what it's all about. That's the real job. Ben,
That's the real job.
what's your homework?
My homework is to get yourself a Speks Geode if you're looking for a nice idol/fidget toy, and then also maybe the Jai rings made by Brainwright. And also actually I didn't mention this, the Jai rings, the like outer ring has a Brainwright wristband on it. If you want one of those. I actually like keeping it on there because it's a nice texture difference thing. But you know, do whatever you want. I'm not your freaking
Do
mom.
whatever you want.
You're not?
Or your dad.
What?
I know.
I have to. Oh, I should have mentioned this
Wow.
earlier. Ben and I. What? No, not Ben and I.
I just loved Erin's little wow.
Ian and I listened to the episode from 2 weeks ago. Let me see the name, but the one that he was on first.
I think was that 217?
That would be 217. I'm getting Ghost of My Potential. It's the same one. So, same one that we already talked about. Anyway, God, I can't stop burping. Erin's little thing through that entire episode where you were making up little fictions the whole time was like tickling me so much. I enjoyed it in the
forgot about
moment,
that.
and it confused me every time it started, and then I would like think it was very funny, and I'm still very curious of why you were in that mood or how, but like I loved it.
I was just, my brain was just there, and it's like I'm like not there today. Like I couldn't do it it was just like the first thoughts that were coming to me were a little fiction.
Yeah, no, I would say
I
you're
wish I
in
could
like
capitalize
the
on that.
direct opposite mood of that today. Like this whole like what? It's like but it's
Which is a little fiction.
it is in its own way.
you know,
That's true.
What is comedy but a series of little fictions?
Whoa.
That is the real job right there.
That's the real job.
That's the real job.
So the podcast, if you want to call us while we're on our sabbatical, tell us what you're doing for the summer sabbatical, or how much you miss us or whatever.
What are your plans for our sabbatical?
You can leave us a voicemail or text us at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it. But don't tell.
Blaze it.
You can
Dumb fuck.
follow us on Twitter at 2broadpod. You can follow us on Instagram at way2broad. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Anthropology. I'm on TikTok at Hannah and Her Cats. you can email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. And if you missed any of that, if you're looking for links, contact information for the pod, whatever, you can find all of that at waytoobroad.com or waytoobod.com or nameyourselfjame.com or nameyourselfjameegan.com for anything you want. Earnben.com for anything you need. maxfun.org for a cute dog on his own sabbatical. And don't forget to check out Friends of the Chaos.bandcamp.com. You can download our theme tune there, and they're just wonderful. They make a lot of great music. And that's it. So thanks for listening. We'll see your ears again all together July 10th, and I will see you next week.
What? Bye.
Bye. The podcast candle is now extinct. Oh, I forgot. The podcast candle. Where's the lid for the podcast candle? Oh my God. Okay. The podcast candle is now extinguished for 6 weeks.
Goodbye. We were hovering in a state of being.
It's way too hard. What I'm trying to say.